Good morning. This is X Pulse AI Morning Mix. It's Thursday, July 9th, 2026. Today, OpenAI ships GPT 5.6 to the public. Microsoft starts swapping in its own models inside Excel and Outlook and will hit a rough patch in AI stocks, plus a big new compliance law. I've got Orion with me. Ready?
Ready, let's jump in.
Leading us off, CNBC reported on July 8th that OpenAI has publicly launched the GPT 5.6 model family, expanding access after a period of restricted availability. Orion, what actually changed today for users?
The headline is broad access. OpenAI is rolling out multiple tiers of GPT 5.6, so more people and more teams can use these conversational models without the earlier gating. It's also a signal. They're comfortable enough with performance and safety to scale availability, right as the frontier race tightens.
Who benefits first, consumers or developers building on top?
Developers feel it immediately. More consistent access, clearer tiers, and easier planning for capacity and cost. Consumers get it as it propagates into chat GPT-like experiences, but the bigger near-term effect is ecosystems, plugins, agents, and enterprise apps standardizing on a new default model.
Does this force competitors to respond fast?
Yes, public launches compress the marketing gap into a usage gap. If GPT 5.6 becomes the model people benchmark their workflows against, rivals like Anthropic have to either beat it on capability, beat it on price, or own a niche like safety, coding, or enterprise controls.
Bloomberg reported on July 7th that Microsoft is replacing OpenAI and Anthropic models with its own MAI models for AI work inside Excel and Outlook, with tens of thousands of prompts per week already handled. Orion, what's the strategic read?
Cost and control. If you're Microsoft, every embedded prompt is margin and latency. Moving high-volume, good-enough tasks to in-house MAI models reduces spend on third parties, gives tighter integration with Microsoft data and permissions, and de-risks supply if external model access gets throttled.
Does this weaken OpenAI's position with Microsoft?
It changes the balance. Microsoft can still use OpenAI for premium frontier tasks, but the default workload shifting in Office is huge. Also, Outlook doesn't have loyalty, just a calendar. So the vendor becomes whoever meets quality at the lowest effective cost.
Forbes reported on July 7th that OpenAI has launched 3 healthcare-focused products in the past 6 months, plus partnerships with major health systems, including Cedars-Sinai, aiming to put ChatGPT-style tools into clinical workflows. Orion, what's the bet here?
They're betting healthcare can be a durable enterprise wedge. Documentation, patient communication, triage support, and operational workflows. The partnerships matter because health systems don't buy tools. They buy trust, integrations, and liability comfort. OpenAI is trying to turn AI assistant into clinical workflow layer.
What's the hardest part, accuracy or adoption?
Both, but accuracy is existential. In healthcare, a small hallucination isn't a quirky bug, it's a risk event. Adoption follows once you prove reliability, auditing, and workflow fit, especially with clinicians who already have 0 spare minutes.
Bloomberg reported on July 8th that Nvidia has shed roughly $1 trillion in market value in under 2 months, with shares down about 16% from the May 14th all-time high back near pre-AI boom valuation levels. Orion, what's driving that slide?
It's rotation more than collapse. Nvidia still dominates AI data center GPUs, but investors are reallocating the AI trade toward competing semiconductor names. When a stock becomes the symbol of a megatrend, it can overshoot, and then any uncertainty triggers profit-taking at scale.
Is this a demand warning or a valuation reset?
More like a valuation reset. Demand for compute is still intense, but the market's pricing in competition, slower ramp expectations, and how much growth is already in the chart. Also, $1 trillion evaporating is a reminder. Even AI hype has to obey gravity, eventually.
Politico reported on July 7th that Illinois enacted the Artificial Intelligence Safety Measures Act, requiring annual independent audits and new transparency reporting for major AI developers, with penalties for noncompliance and an effective timeline targeting covered systems in 2027. Orion, why is this a big deal?
It's a template. State law is now spelling out recurring third-party audits for large developers, not just one-off reporting. And it reportedly has support from leading labs, including OpenAI and Anthropic, which suggests the industry would rather have a predictable audit regime than a patchwork of surprise enforcement.
What should people watch between now and 2027?
Definitions and scope. Who counts as major, what qualifies as an audit, and what gets disclosed. If other states copy Illinois, compliance becomes a product requirement, meaning safety tooling, evals, and documentation move from nice to have to table stakes.
TechCrunch reported on July 8th that SambaNova Systems raised about $1 billion at an $11 billion valuation to expand its AI inference infrastructure following its SN50 chip launch and a multi-year partnership with Intel. Orion, what's the news embedded in those numbers?
$1 billion is a scale signal. Investors believe inference, running models in production, will be a long-lived, high-volume market. The $11 billion valuation says SambaNova is being priced as infrastructure, not an app. And the Intel partnership gives it supply chain and go-to-market credibility.
For listeners, what does SambaNova actually do?
They build AI systems focused on efficient deployment, hardware plus software, so companies can run large models with lower cost and better throughput. Think getting tokens out the door at scale, not just training gigantic models once. Their SN50 chip is part of that inference-first posture.
Who are they competing against in inference?
Everyone with silicon and a platform story. Nvidia at the top, plus other accelerator makers and cloud providers building their own stacks. SambaNova's angle is integrated systems and performance per dollar. Inference is where budgets go to live permanently, so the fight is ruthless.
All right, a few more headlines worth having on your radar. Fast, but not sloppy. Orion, start with the AI companies expanding beyond just models.
The information reported on July 7th that xAI is renting out spare server capacity. Meta launched an enterprise-focused AI agent, and Anthropic is developing AI server chips. Translation: the big labs are creeping into each other's turf, infra, enterprise tooling, and hardware, because the stack is where defensibility lives.
Staying on policy and geopolitics, what else popped?
Fortune reported on July 9th that Microsoft President Brad Smith warned U.S. AI policy is becoming regulation without transparent or complete rules, pointing to unclear access restrictions. And Hindustan Times reported on July 7th that China's DeepSeek is developing a custom inference chip to reduce reliance on Nvidia and Huawei.
On the hardware rumor mill and the enterprise adoption side, give us the quick read.
24/7 Wall Street covered a semi-analysis claim on July 7th that a circuit board issue could delay Nvidia's Kyber NVL144 rack-scale system to 2028. Nvidia hasn't confirmed it, but sentiment moved. Meanwhile, Biz Community reported July 9th that SBS launched an AI foundation to embed enterprise AI across about 1,500 banks.
And healthcare plus finance? Anything notable in funding and automation?
Yes. PR Newswire reported on July 8th that Pearl Health raised $110 million to expand its AI platform for Medicare-focused providers. Business Insider also reported July 8th that startups and funds are pushing deeper AI partnerships to automate pieces of hedge fund research and trading.
Last one, talent and footprint. What's happening in New York?
The New York Times reported on July 7th that Anthropic plans to lease a 16-story building in Hudson Square and double its New York City workforce to about 1,000 employees this year. The hiring wars continue. Apparently, Manhattan is still a compute cluster, just made of humans.
That's Xpulse AI Morning Mix from Xpulse for Thursday, July 9th, 2026. Share it with someone who'd find it useful. See you next time.